Folks, it's a fairly regular occurrence on this program that I take you on a whirlwind trip of the imagination into a different place and time, and today is one of those days. It might not shock you to hear that the place and time we're visiting today seems so far back that it has gained near mythical proportions in the hearts and minds of those who wish they could return to it. You may recall that once upon a time, Donald Trump was the president of this country, and while he was president, we as a nation became energy independent. Yes, while the Greta Thunbergs of the world were railing about climate change and screaming, "How dare you?" we were literally fueling an economy that has not only been the greatest force for humanitarian good in the world, but also the greatest force for the good of the climate in the world. Now, it might seem counterintuitive, if you're stupid. These were the bright times, and maybe someday we'll see them again. But meanwhile, along came Uncle Biden, Lunchbox Joe, and without so much as buying the economy dinner, he bent it over the table and sniffed its hair. Not only are we not energy independent at this stage, we are in fact under the thumb of energy providers in other places around the world once again. Let's start with Saudi Arabia, which has historically been an ally of convenience because of their oil, despite their ugly record on human rights violations. Under the Trump administration, we were free from having to support them. And instead of liberals celebrating the fact that we weren't sending money to people who routinely throw gay dudes off the buildings, well, you know how the whole thing goes. But now, in the midst of a crisis, that was not only preventable, but could still be fixed if he just opened our drilling sites. Joe Biden is going hat in hand to start buying oil from Saudi Arabia again. And you might think that doesn't have ramifications beyond the fact that it might bring gas prices down temporarily, but upsetting the apple cart in that part of the world is always a shaky proposal at best. And we never toss over the apple cart harder than when we step back from the world-leading position that we fought to maintain. Now, guess which two countries just became besties, largely over oil? Iran and Venezuela. They just signed a 20-year economic and military cooperation agreement. That's right. They've been helping each other out through the global economic crisis lately and decided to get the band back together. And guess what the thing they have most in common with each other is? They hate us. Now, look, part of that is happening because recent negotiations to re-up the Iran nuclear deal fell through. And that, of course, isn't an entirely bad thing. But I guarantee you that the majority of it is simply the following. The state of world politics is never more than one asshole or two away from a total worldwide war. The UN can't stop that. NATO can't stop that. Even we can't necessarily stop that, but we're the best hope of it, or at least we used to be. Now, when Joe Biden goes crawling on his hands and knees to Saudi Arabia to try to fix the gas price issue that's going to get him and his buddies thrown out of office instead of fixing the problem at home, what does that say to nations abroad who hate our guts? Folks, we can't afford as a nation to project this kind of weakness on the world stage. It has to stop. Because if it doesn't, we're just going to be dust in the wind. Yet another nation state that's fallen for future historians to look back on and wonder what went wrong. History is not going to be kind to Joe Biden. Where are we sitting here as the state of Texas? I mean, we're an energy leader, aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't we have a lot of stuff here we could provide some resources?
Yeah, most people would be really thankful for having all the natural gas and everything under our feet to help provide for our economy, our business, I mean, everything. And instead, you got people even in the state of Texas that still want to depend on green energy. And what I've tried to communicate to them, somebody makes money off producing energy. And if it's green energy, they're making money.
Yeah.
If it's oil and gas, we're making money. Why not be happy we have it? Every other state, let's just say this, every other country wishes, maybe except for Saudi Arabia, wishes they had what was underneath our feet here in Texas.